Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to episode 3 of the series of Getting to Know Allah. Today's topic is about His throne and His greatness. How do we know how big Allah's throne is? We know that Allah created space and time, and we know that Allah is, laysa kamithlihi shay, meaning that He is not like His creation. There's nothing unto like Him, basically. And so we can never fathom or never understand what Allah is saying to us, but we only affirm what He has said in the Quran, and we don't go above that at all. And so we come to an understanding that Allah has given many ayahs of the Quran about Himself, and many people in different Aqidah classes speak about this as well. So what is His throne though? How big is His throne? Is it massive at all in any way, shape or form? Where is His throne? And so we have this concept of, we have the first heaven, the second heaven, up to 7 heavens. And then above the 7 heavens is like a massive sea, and above that is where His kursi is, and His arsh, His throne. And we know that Allah says in the Quran, Ar-Rahmanu ala al-arsh istawa, that the Ar-Rahman, which is one of the attributes of Allah, names and attributes of Allah, He rose above His throne, or He istawa on His throne, basically. So we have this understanding that Allah has a throne, and we have the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam who mentions how big these thrones are, or these heavens are, in comparison to the earth and beyond it. And so we are told that if you were to put a ring onto a desert, that the earth is like the ring, and the whole first heaven is the whole of the desert. And the second level of this heaven is if you were to put a ring onto a desert, that the ring is the first heaven, and the second heaven is the desert, and the third one is the same thing, where the second heaven is the ring in comparison of size, and the third heaven is bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it goes on and on and on, and goes bigger and bigger, just like that, in comparison of size, up until you get to the 7th heaven. And then on top of that, you have the whole sea, which is also just as in comparison of the sign of the ring and the desert, that's also quite big. And we know that His throne above all those heavens is far greater and far bigger than the ones mentioned before it. And so you'll be able to see the throne of Allah, and you'll be able to see Allah's face. When do you get to see that? It depends on the level you are in Jannah. If you're at the highest level, you'll be able to converse and speak to Allah and see Allah on a daily basis. If you are to be a little bit lower, you probably see Him weekly, and if you're a little bit lower, probably monthly. And it's depending on how Allah rewards you, and this is the best reward. And we know that Allah on the Day of Judgment will destroy everything and recreate a specific world where it's called a place of gathering, and everyone comes, and the throne of Allah will be brought down, where angels are carrying the throne, and Allah will come down in a matter in which befits only Him. And you will be able to see this throne as well. And you will see, and Allah will judge you on the Day of Judgment, whether you will go to Jannah or to Jahannam. And so this is how great His throne is, to such an extent that the biggest bounty is one of His thrones. And you have also things that accompany His throne, which we will talk about. But as I said before, that this is Ramadan. This is a time of mercy. This is a time of Quran. And for you to understand Allah's throne and Allah's attributes, His names, His being, we must first go back to the Quran and Sunnah, and we must read and learn more and ask the people of knowledge if we do not know. And remember, this Ramadan is yours, theirs, and ours.